Hey, I'm Jess.
And I'm Marissa.
And this is Totally Candid.
This is episode 3 of season 3.
Yeah. 3.
The energy difference today is crazy. I feel like normally it's the opposite.
Yeah.
I'm normally very reserved and you're very like, what's going on?
I know. Yeah. Well, the reason for that is because I was at a sleepover last night and I didn't get home. Hello.
You haven't been home.
I haven't been home. I didn't get to sleep until 3 a.m. last night. And then we woke up at like 8:15.
Naturally or alarm?
Naturally. Well, okay. So one of the girls was snoring last night. And so I left the room to go sleep by myself because I was so pissed off. Not at her. I just like
There was too much noise.
Yeah, when I can't sleep I get like
Cranky.
so mad.
Yeah.
I get so
Oh, I know.
I get so mad. And so I was like, fuck this. I'm leaving. So I went into the living room and slept, but then like people started to like stir and like get up.
Yeah.
And they were going to get water and shit. And so I kind of just woke up to like the sound of people like moving around. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm up now. But yeah, I had 5 hours and 15 minutes of sleep if we're being exact. Probably broken sleep too because waking up with snoring and I was drunk and all of the things. I had 3 espresso martinis. I usually only have 1.
It was a big night for you last night.
Marissa, it's crazy because like it's caffeine, right?
Yeah.
So like my heart, when I tell you my heart was beating out of my chest because I was talking to the girls and I was like, guys, my heart was pounding so much last night. And so my friend Sam that hosted, she like counted all the Nespresso pods that she went through. She was like, guys, I think she said we split like 8 shots of espresso between like.
So 2 each?
Yeah, no, maybe she said 14 and there were 7 left. I don't know. She said something. She said like we each had like a high number.
Whoa.
I don't know. I was like zoning out. I was not awake when she was explaining this. But I was just saying that my heart was pounding out of my chest. But like, so I'm trying to fall asleep.
Yeah.
My heart is pounding. I'm like, do I have anxiety? Like, am I going to die? Was it the espresso? Like, what's happening? But then because of the alcohol, it like counterbalanced it.
Yeah.
So like I was so sleepy, but also
But
my
your
heart
was just going crazy.
I was like, this is the weirdest feeling.
Yeah, see, that's why like espresso martinis are so delicious. I love them.
Yeah.
But it's so tricky, especially if like that's your drink of choice when you go out. Like if you're clubbing and your drink of choice is espresso martini, like that's so scary.
Can I be so real?
Yeah.
If that's your drink of choice, you're wild.
I know. Well, it's scary. You can get like caffeine overdose if you're out clubbing and you have like 5 espresso martinis. That's so much caffeine.
Exactly. But also for me, I'm like, okay, if I'm going to have an espresso martini, that's either like my nightcap, I'm ending the night as a little dessert.
Yeah.
Or I'm having one to start off the night to keep me awake through the rest of it. Mm-hmm. And then I'll have like a different drink of choice afterwards. But like having like 2 to 3 espresso martinis going from like 11 p.m. to 3 a.m, that's a lot.
Even on New Year's when we made espresso martinis for us, like I think I had 1 maybe. I think I don't even know what we did, but like I only had 1 or 2 and I felt bad.
Yeah, I was like shaking. I did not feel good.
No.
But no wonder why we were able to stay up until fucking 4:30 in.
I was up till almost 6.
Yeah, that's
after
true.
you and Steven left.
We should have stayed.
I know.
I don't know why we didn't.
I know.
But
You could have slept here.
literally right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, my booty was right where yours was. I could have just conked out. Yeah. Right where I was. I would have been fine.
Then one of our friends was over there. So he'd have been like,
yeah.
Steve would have been here.
Imagine
he
like
would have been
all
over there.
just like
That'd have been crazy.
just knocked. But
yeah.
But
what about a decaf espresso martini?
that's actually brilliant.
I mean, because if you made them at home and you had decaf and espresso pods, because I have decaf ones here.
That is.
And they're starting to make more and more.
This is why we need you around.
They're starting to make more decaf options.
Yeah.
For an espresso
And
pods
like half
in general.
calf.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, those are more coffee than espresso pods, but still,
like lower caffeine ones.
Yeah, the Alticio, I think the purple pod is the one that has decaf espresso, and it's actually very good.
Is Malazio also the espresso, or is that coffee? It's
That's
like the gold one.
Yeah, that's coffee. They do have a decaf version now, though. Yeah.
Yes, that's the one that I give my mom
Yeah.
when she visits.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have this one for you, Mom.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was part of the wild night.
Yeah.
We also had a triple feature.
Yeah.
One of the movies I've never heard of in my entire life, and they
Okay.
were like, Jess, we need to usher you into girlhood with this movie. And Marissa, let me tell you, I sobbed my eyes out.
What movie was it?
Have you ever seen the movie Sleepover?
No, I haven't.
But have you heard of it?
I don't know. I'm looking it up on Letterboxd. I don't know if I have.
I've never heard of it
When
before.
was it made?
Like 2004.
Okay, early
And it had
2000s.
the girl that played, I thought it was Lava Girl. I always get her and Spy Kids girl confused.
Oh,
The girl that
Carmen, the girl, that's her character name, I think, right? In Spy Kids?
I think so. The girl that played Spy Kids.
Yeah.
She was the main girl in it. But Evan Peters was in it. Little young Evan Peters. And it made me so happy.
I love him. Oh, and is that Isla Fisher? No, that's not Isla Fisher. Oh my god, Jane Lynch is in it? Hello?
Yeah, she's the mom. And
Steve
then-
Carell?
Yes, he's the cop. Or
Jeff
the security
Garland?
guard. Yeah, it's a big cast.
Whoa. Okay.
I was actually really surprised seeing all of the characters
Doesn't
in
that
it,
look
or
like...
the actors.
Or no, the girl who plays Denise in Hot Rod.
Oh,
Is
yeah,
that
that's
not her?
I don't think that's her.
Are you sure?
No,
That looks exactly like her.
not positive.
Hold on, now I have to figure out if it is her. Maybe she's just like
And then
further down on the list.
another girl, the girl
Doesn't
that
matter.
was in Halloween Town, but the newer ones. I'm blanking on. I'm really bad with actors' names, but really good at faces. She played Stacy in the movie, if that helps.
Sarah Paxton.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, she was in Aquamarine.
Yes, she was.
Okay.
She was the mermaid.
She was in
I
Barbarian?
think. She was? No way.
Yeah.
For what? What do you mean?
She was in Barbarian.
Was she one of the girls that he approached? And by he...
Nursing video narration.
Oh. Okay. Well. But yeah. So, Sleepover.
Wow. Yeah.
This movie was the definition of girlhood. Like, it was so cute. They all came over to this girl's house, and then the popular girl ended up coming over and being like, you're not popular unless you do this scavenger hunt. And then so like they all broke out and like snuck out of the house and did the scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
And they had to like go into a club and get someone to buy them a drink. But like this whole time, like the main girl had this big crush on an older boy that was in high school, and she was graduating junior high and going into like,
Oh boy.
Yeah.
8th grade into freshman year.
and so
The ripe age of 12.
yeah, going into a club and like having someone buy a drink for her.
That's actually insane.
Insane. So the whole thing is like her also trying to like get the guy because she like just wants him to notice her.
Yeah.
And then like something happens where he ends up like seeing her and noticing her. She was riding a skateboard across the view of his car in like this really pretty red dress, and
Yeah.
he was like, who's that?
Who's that 12-year-old?
Right. And he's like literally a senior.
Ew.
It was problematic.
Wait, hold on. So he was graduating high school and she was graduating middle
I
school?
honestly, well, okay.
Or is
so-
it she was graduating high school and he was graduating college?
No. He wasn't graduating college. She was graduating junior high. He was in high school. I don't know if he was a senior.
Okay. Because my thought is also like, because I know that some towns way back when would have junior high be like to
If they're
sophomore
sophomores?
year, and then have high school
I'm
be
gonna be
like
so-
junior and senior.
I have no idea how old she was. She could have been 14. She could have been 12.
Okay.
We don't know. We don't know.
Okay.
But the issue also is this actor that played like the main guy. We looked it up.
Yeah.
He was 22 at the time.
Ah.
But he was really hot, so it's fine. But spoiler alert, they end up like getting together at the end.
together.
And Marissa, I sobbed my eyes out.
So it's a rom-com.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was so happy for her. She got the guy.
She got the guy.
I
at
literally
12
was
years old.
screaming at the TV. I was like, kiss her. Kiss her. I was like,
Drunk on your espresso martinis.
yeah. My Instagram story is literally me sobbing at the screen, like so happy.
I know.
for
I
her.
saw.
I was like, this is what dreams are made of.
So okay, looking at the like the similar films, like the Letterboxd
Yeah.
similar films. John Tucker Must Die is like the first one. I fucking love that movie.
I've never seen it.
Oh my
I've never
god,
seen it.
it's so funny.
But I feel like I would really like it.
Duff is also one.
Never seen it.
Duff is really fun. Dumb Ugly Fat Friend is what Duff stands for.
Oh. Oh my god. Can we also talk about the fact that early 2000s comedy is not okay with body shaming?
Oh, it's so fat phobic.
Like, the whole movie was talking about carbs and, like, the fear of it. And then there's this one girl, her name is Yancy. First of all, parents did her dirty with her name.
Yancy,
but her name was Yancy.
Yeah.
And the whole time they were making fun of her because she was fat. But I literally, like, looked at her and I was like, girl, you're, like, a healthy 12-year-old. Like, what do you mean?
It's early 2000s.
I was,
Dude,
like, horrified.
do you remember it's the same way with Mean Girls?
Yeah.
When she went on that, like, diet, she was just eating the granola bars?
Yeah. She's like, I gained 12 pounds.
Yeah, that was the same year, which Mean Girls is also one that's suggested. 10 Things I Hate About You.
I saw that recently. It was good.
Looks like I have another movie to watch.
Yeah, you have to. But that was movie 1.
Okay.
Movie 2, A Cinderella Story.
Cried.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course
that one's the best one. So there's a couple of like, not like remakes, but there's a couple of versions of Cinderella Story, because there's a Selena Gomez one.
Yep.
Right?
And a Lucy Hale one.
Lucy Hale?
Mm-hmm.
What? Really?
Yeah.
When?
After Selena Gomez.
I have to look again. Sorry, guys. Whoa, okay.
Yeah, there's 3.
I remember the Selena Gomez one came out when, like, I was still actively watching, like, Disney Channel or
Is that
whatever.
when the Prince guy was actually the voice actor for Troy Bolton for singing? I forget his name. But do you know how, like, in
Do you mean Zac Efron didn't sing?
in the first movie, he didn't sing? You didn't know this?
No.
Am I ruining your childhood?
No, but he's a great singer because
is.
of Link and Hairspray.
Yes, but the first movie, I think he was, like, insecure about his singing or something.
Oh.
So another, like, classic, like, Disney guy was his singing voice. Lucas.
Fascinating.
No. What's his name?
There are so many Cinderella movies. Hold on. Cinderella.
Oh, don't even get me started on, like,
movie.
Cinderella remakes in general. Like the one with Camila Cabello. Awful.
Another Cinderella Story was Selena Gomez's one. Okay, was that supposed to be, like, based off of, like, Hilary Duff's? If it's called Another Cinderella Story?
I think, I don't know if it was made by the same studio, but it's the same premise. It's like, oh, like,
her best friend. Like, has to do with her or no, does she have, like, a bestie who, like...
It's more like, oh, well, I have, like, a stepmom and I have 2 stepsisters and they're mean to me, and then, like, I find the guy, but, like, he's not gonna like me, and then, like, they go to this dance, and then she, like, leaves something at the dance, but he doesn't know who she is because she wears a mask.
Was he also a jock?
I think he was. This one was, like, a dance-based one. It was, like, a dance studio.
Oh, clips of that have been going around on Twitter. The scene where they're dancing together, it's the 2-way mirror.
Yes.
And she's dancing on the other side.
Yes.
I remember.
Drew Seeley is who I'm talking about.
Okay.
Drew Seeley was the singing voice of High School Musical 1 for Troy Bolton, Zac Efron.
Fascinating. Okay.
Yes. But yeah, it's the same premise.
Wow,
Except
okay.
instead of her getting into Princeton and all that stuff, it was her, like, getting into the dance school, I think.
Gotcha. Okay.
But
Can we talk about the Hilary Duff one?
yes, please.
That's one of my favorite movies from my childhood. I also love Hilary Duff. Like,
Yes.
I love her so much. She was, like, her and Jesse McCartney were, like, my 2 favorite
Thank you.
people to, like, listen
Thank
to
you.
for music in early 2000s.
Yes.
That's literally all I listened to.
You know about my lore with Jesse McCartney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why your nickname is Jessie. Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's okay.
I took the I out of my nickname to be like him. It's fine. It's fine. I listened to him every night. I had his concert DVDs and I'd put them in
so funny.
and go to bed. I had posters of him. I, like, when he was on the Sweet Life of Zach and Cody episode.
Ooh.
You best believe I was watching that countdown of that episode release. Cried when he, like, performs Beautiful Soul.
That's crazy. Yeah,
Like,
because wasn't that the episode where Sharpay and London, like, dress up as, like, bellboys and they, like, go into the room?
They have, like, mustaches and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep
Just to
seeing-
meet him.
Yes, there's clips of these episodes, like, that just resurface on, like, Twitter and, like, Instagram sometimes, and I'm like, oh my god, I haven't seen that probably in 15 years.
Yeah. You want to know what Sweet Life episode, like, I still think about on the daily?
Which one?
It's actually Sweet Life on Deck, but it's the ghost. Well, actually, both. The hotel one and the cruise one. The ghost episodes, the Halloween episodes. They both had ghost ones.
Oh, I don't know if I remember those.
We need to watch them.
Because they had a handful of them.
There's two iconic ones. The first one was Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, and it was in the hotel, and Esteban had like a ghost or some shit.
I can't remember.
It was a haunted hotel episode.
Okay.
But then the other one was a haunted ship episode. And I think
remember
about
that
them
one
on
more.
the daily.
Because Debbie Ryan was in that one by then, right?
I think so. Should we like rewatch? Oh my god. And she's like,
That came from Debbie Ryan.
yeah.
What a lady.
Poor thing.
We should watch them.
We
I
should.
also, Sweet Life on Deck was low-key really good.
Yes.
Do you remember, what was it? It was, what was like the trio episode?
Like the crossover?
It was like Sweet
Hannah
Life
Montana.
Yeah, it was Hannah Montana, Sweet Life on Deck, and then was it Wizards of Waverly Place?
It had to have been.
But what was the title?
Because those were the top 3
But what
shows.
was the title?
I don't fucking know.
It was a crazy... Yeah, look it up, because the titles were always really funny. It was like Wizards of Sweet Life... Not that, but
Wizards, Sweet Life, Hannah...
Montana crossover title.
You don't want to see all the typos that I
That's okay.
have.
Google will understand.
Wizards on Deck with Hannah Montana.
Yeah, Wizards on Deck.
That was like peak television in my opinion.
Oh, I agree. I actually...
And then there was That's So Sweet Life with Hannah Montana.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
And That's So
Sweet Life.
Raven.
Yes.
Wow, I love when they did the crossovers.
Yes, the crossovers were so good.
That was like highlights of my childhood.
Yes, yeah.
Wow.
Crossovers were great. But I recently saw, I think it was a video on, I think it was a reel on Instagram or something that I saw. And it was like a summary of like Miley Cyrus's just like career.
Okay.
And from when she started on Hannah Montana to where she is now. And it was so interesting, like listening to everything or watching everything that happened that sparked so much controversy for her. No, like seeing it now and like seeing what it was at my age now at like almost 27. Thinking about when I heard about it happening or when I noticed things in the show back when I was, I mean, how old were we when we were watching the show? Probably like 10 or 11.
Yeah, 10 to 12.
But like I remember like, so one of the first things was when she, chronologically, I don't know if it was first or second, but there was the time where there was the picture of her like smoking, not ketamine.
I don't even know if I know what picture you're talking about.
There was a picture of her smoking a drug that wasn't, it was like DMT or something, but it was a picture of her smoking a blunt that wasn't weed. It was like a hallucinogenic drug. And that picture went viral of her because she was like 16 or 17 and she was at like a party that she shouldn't have been at and like she was underage. And then she got her nose pierced and like Disney threw a fucking fit about her getting her nose pierced, and then she had it on the show. There was the time where she was 17 and she went out for like the Kids' Choice Awards or like some choice awards on like the pole that was on that little like ice cream thing. I could be remembering it wrong, but there was just so much stuff that happened. And also when she was like smoking cigarettes and when she was like going out partying and stuff. And I remember hearing about all of it when I was younger. I was like, oh my god, like that's so scary, like what is she doing, like that's awful. And now now that I'm grown, I'm like, that poor girl was like so like
someone help her.
She was so clearly just like screaming out for help or for something, and like she was just rebelling because she needed something from someone and no one fucking gave her anything.
Yeah, I mean, she
crazy.
was a child star, like that. Also, her whole character was living a double life. I'm sorry, as a child growing up and like playing something where then she kind of became her too, and was like playing Hannah Montana concerts and like all that stuff. I can only imagine how like.
Wasn't it also true that her and Emily Osment like were not friends?
Yeah,
they
like did not like each other.
Yeah,
at least allegedly. That's what I've heard too.
Yeah, I also think it's interesting thinking about shows like that too, and thinking about like iCarly and stuff, and how like once, because I don't think that Jeanette McCurdy and like Miranda Cosgrove ever hated each other. I think
no, they were good friends.
They were friends, but it was after iCarly when it broke off to Sam and Cat, where like
they
Jeanette and Ariana
friends.
did not
Did you read
get
the book?
along. No, I have it still on my shelf. Did you know that Shane Topp was in an episode of Sam and Cat?
I didn't know he was in Sam and Cat. I knew he was in iCarly.
It was the episode of Sam and Cat where Cat is like trapped in a box the entire episode because Ariana was on tour, I think, or she was doing something, so they had to like write her out of the episode.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what his character was. It honestly might have been the same character that he was in iCarly, like universe wise, but that whole episode he was in. Because it's just like a supporting character, because
that's crazy.
Ariana
I thought he was
just like out.
Only in iCarly.
No.
Shane Top from iCarly.
No. Carly Shay from iCarly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so that book, I thought it was going to be a lot more triggering than it was.
Yeah, I remember the first chapter talked a lot about, or the specific part that I remember where I was like, okay, I can't read this right now, because I also started reading it when it first came out.
Yeah.
Was when she was talking about visiting her mom at the hospital and her mom was like commenting on her body. And I was like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
And then I closed it, put it on my shelf.
I will say that is like probably the whole book.
Yeah.
But I wonder now if it would be okay for you to read.
Oh, it would probably be fine for me to read now.
Yeah.
It was like, when did it come out? Was it
a while ago?
Before COVID? It was way before COVID, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So
or
that was like
right when COVID started.
Yeah. If it was before, like a couple years before or during COVID, that was like 2 or 3 years into recovery for me. So like that was not a good time.
I mean,
to read
it. And it is like dark. Like,
yeah.
There's in no way, shape, or form like a way that I can say like, oh yeah, it's not bad. Like it's dark, but like it's also just really fascinating to like read, and I feel bad like saying that, but it is fascinating to like read about like what happened. It's recording over another episode.
Sorry.
But it's just fascinating to read like what was happening behind the scenes at that point, and like obviously not realizing like what was going on until like now you look back and you're like, oh yeah, she was like really frail, she was really tiny, like I didn't know she was that old, like when she was playing these characters,
I know.
like things like that. So but anywho,
A Cinderella Story.
Back to A Cinderella Story. So also
I'm readjusting, I'm sorry.
You're good. Like the whole rain scene,
At the
literally
end,
like stabs me in my heart every fucking time. And the locker room scene right before, and she's like, waiting for you is like waiting for rain in this drought.
Yeah. And you know what song would have been perfect? A Year Without Rain by Selena Gomez.
Or let the rain fall down.
That's true. Yeah, what am I saying? That's literally a Hilary Duff song. I'm so stupid.
But then a Hilary Duff song plays at the end of the movie. It's fine.
I know. Is it that one?
No.
What? Had it come out yet?
I don't know. I don't think so. It must not have. But it was Anywhere But Here. Falling through the floor. I don't even know if that's the right words. Anyways, but the Jimmy Eat World song that is to the rain scene.
Yeah.
Anytime, even if I'm not watching that movie, it takes me back to that scene, and I like have a rock in my throat, and I'm like, I just need to feel what this feels like.
Wow.
Like the teen angst that comes out when I hear that song.
That movie is so good. And like her, like I remember specifically when I was younger, her style in that movie, I was like,
okay,
wow, like I so want to dress, because it wasn't quite Lizzie McGuire, but like it was still like kind of in the same.
Yes.
Yeah.
But this is what I wanted to talk about with you too, and that's why we're doing a thrifting episode, because her fashion in that movie, I literally was like, why do I want those pants? I want that top. Like 2000s fashion is coming back, and like we'll see in like the little thrifting episode that we're gonna do.
Yeah.
But I'm like, wait, she's a fashion icon. Like I want all of her outfits.
So I remember in that movie specifically, she had a black belt that had the double eyelets. It was like kind of a little bit like, not like emo scene, but like a little, you know what I mean? And like I feel like that's my style inspo a lot of the time. It's like I want to look I want to look slightly emo grunge early 2000s.
Yeah.
But like a little girly.
Yeah. That's exactly.
And like her in that movie with like the light wash denim and the black belt and like the black and pink top or whatever she wears. Like I'm picturing it in my head, but I might be making up her outfits, but
no, I think I know what you're
and
talking
her like
about.
blonde hair with the bangs. I'm like, that is perfection.
Yeah.
I want that on my body every day, I think.
See, I love her sportier looks when she has the baseball hat and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like that is more leaning towards like my style, and then it like kind of meets in the middle.
Was her friend dressed as Zorro for the costume party? Okay, that's what I thought.
Oh,
That's
Carter.
a good movie too.
We love Carter.
Yeah.
Anything is possible if you just believe. Yeah.
He's such a good bestie.
Such a good bestie. Okay. And then speaking of him being a bestie, the third movie we watched.
Yes. Okay. What was it?
Easy A.
Ooh.
And he was the bestie in that.
Easy A is so good.
So
I love Emma Stone.
Just picture this triple feature.
Yeah. That's crazy. All
Sleepover,
early 2000s.
A Cinderella Story, and then Easy A.
Was that like the theme of the Sleepover?
It just happened. We had a plan in mind to just watch one. We thought we wouldn't even make it through one because we just talked the whole time. But we ended up doing it. We watched all three. But yeah.
That's fantastic.
Ending with Easy A. I hadn't seen that movie since like 2015 at least. Like, it's been a while.
Yeah, I don't even remember the last time I saw Easy A.
It was so good. I forgot a lot of what happened.
My mom, I remember when I was younger, wouldn't let me watch it because she was like, no, it's about the Scarlet Letter. And I was like, what's that? And she was like, it's inappropriate.
Right. But it's like about combating that and being like, I know what it feels like to be ostracized. Like,
It's just funny that like in literature, the Scarlet Letter means you're a whore.
I know.
She's like this high school girl that's like trying to battle this like slut nickname that everyone's putting on her
because she started a fake rumor that she had sex even though she's still a virgin, but then everyone's like paying her to say that like she slept with people.
It's crazy,
but she's never slept with anyone in her life.
It's crazy. I don't remember too much about the plot, so I have to rewatch it.
You have to.
Like, I just love Emma Stone. She's good.
Incredible. She's incredible. She's just so funny and gorgeous and talented.
I agree.
Can we also just talk about the fact that if we rewatch all of the movies that we watched as kids, the amount of things that went over our heads as kids that watching it now we'd be like,
oh, have you seen all of the jokes in Shrek?
No, I haven't seen Shrek and I cannot tell you how long.
Well, so the Shrek 4 or something or 5, whatever number they're on, is coming out like kind of soon-ish.
I didn't even know they're still going.
Well, it's big because it's a resurgence of the franchise because they haven't made a movie. I don't even know in how long.
Was it like an anniversary kind of thing?
I don't know. I think we're entering. Here's a hot take. Not even a hot take. I think it's a very like
a theory,
lukewarm take. Yeah, it's a theory. You know how like recession pop is coming back?
Yeah.
So I feel like recession film is also coming back because a lot of the best movies ever, in my opinion, happened like early 2000s going into the recession, coming out of it. Like if we're thinking, you know, like Ice Age and the first Incredibles movies and like Emperor's New Groove and also all of the early 2000s rom-coms.
You're naming
like,
some big bangers.
I'm thinking more of like kids movies because I'm remembering like what I used to watch. But even Spy Kids, like that whole series, Shark Boy and Lava Girl, like all of those things came out right before or right around the recession. So my thought is that since people are like kind of thinking that we might be entering another recession, that like
things are coming back,
more and more music, like great music is coming back out, which is like reminiscent of recession pop. And I think they're bringing back franchises that they have like since closed from before the 2008 recession to like add this sense of nostalgia and like hope for people now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so too. I think it also just comes from the idea that like trends cycle. I mean, we're seeing it with fashion too. We're seeing like we saw 90s come back, now like 2000s is coming back. And I think just like trends, it's just really fascinating. Like people will always go back and like freshen up something that happened 20 years ago. But it's crazy that it was 20 years ago.
I know. The last Shrek came out 15 years ago, 2010.
That's crazy.
I know.
I don't think I've seen all the Shreks. I think I've seen Shrek 1 and 2.
There's 4.
Yeah. Only seen 1 and 2.
There's Shrek 1, 2, 3, then there's
But what
Shrek
jokes were you talking about?
Ever After. There's a ton of jokes in there that are just like adult jokes.
Yeah.
And like, let me see if I can find list of adult jokes in Shrek 1.
Because there were some jokes in A Cinderella Story last night that I was like, oh my god, as a kid I did not understand that. I didn't get it.
Reddit will tell me.
Reddit.
Oh yeah, the movie, more than its sequels, contains a decent amount of profanity compared to other family animated films. The words damn, ass, and crap are used several occasions. That's not really a joke. Oh, when Shrek uses the storybook page's toilet paper, he says, what a load of, and is interrupted by the sound of the toilet flushing, presumably he was going to say, what a load of shit. When the seven dwarves place Snow White's coffin onto Shrek's table, he yells, "Dead broad off the table." The word broad is an archaic term for a sexually promiscuous woman. Additionally, when the magic mirror presents Snow White as a bachelorette to Lord Farquaad, he jokes that although she lives with 7 other men, she's not easy. I remember that one.
Oh my god. See, and maybe this isn't like an outlandish theory, or people are just like, well, duh, Jess, like, obviously, but like,
Well, we don't remember. It was when we were kids.
no, but like, my theory is that like people that make kids movies and are successful with it make them for the parents.
Oh, 100%.
So the parents will like tolerate it because there's like adult
100%,
jokes,
yes.
and it's like hidden enough that the kids don't.
They won't get it. It'll
Yeah.
just be silly to them.
Yeah.
Like Lord Farquaad, it's believed that like it's supposed to be a play on like Lord like Fuckwad. Yeah.
That makes sense.
When Shrek sees how comically large Duloc Castle is, he asks Donkey, "Do you think maybe he's compensating for something?"
Oh my god. See, I need to rewatch these.
And then Shrek makes another joke about Farquaad's genitalia. Fiona insults Shrek by saying that he will, quote, never measure up to Farquaad's greatness, to which Shrek responds, "I'll let you do the measuring when you see him tomorrow."
Oh my god.
When they see Duloc Castle in the distance, Donkey brings up Shrek's joke from earlier to Fiona. He seems to have figured out the joke and begins to tell her, Shrek thinks Lord Farquaad's compensating for something, which I think he has a really... And it says, before Shrek cuts him off by stepping on his hoof. Presumably Donkey was going to say small penis.
Oh my god. We love Donkey.
Oh, and do you remember the little puppet things, the dolls, where it's
Yeah,
like
low-key,
the
like a
welcome,
little
like
bit.
so the Welcome to Duloc dolls, where they sing, "Please keep off the grass, shine your shoes, wipe your face." Do you remember when they had like the little dance and they're like, "Wipe your face," and they're like butts in front of you, so it's supposed to be like, "Wipe your ass." Anyway.
I remember the dolls, but I don't remember specifics.
I remember getting that when I was younger and being like, "Oh my god, they were gonna say ass." When I was
Oh my
little.
god.
I remember. Anyway, this list goes on and on.
That's
and on
crazy. Yeah, but I think it's just so crazy that like there's so many, like even SpongeBob and like the whole origin of SpongeBob and how it was
Yeah.
on MTV, but then it ended up or it was supposed to be on MTV.
Yeah.
And like Sandy Cheeks, Mr. Krabs, like all of that
Bikini
stuff.
Bottom.
Bikini Bottom.
Yeah.
And like literally as kids you'd think nothing of it, and then like you start developing a little bit more and you're like, huh, whoa.
You just start to be like older and you're like, interesting.
Yeah, like I get it. Do you also remember? Wow, I'm like, my brain's like buzzing of all of these childhood things. But do you also remember, or like when you were in school, did kids start to theorize and like read theories about like the very odd parents and like I think it was SpongeBob, and it was like all the personalities of like drugs and stuff. Did your school talk about that and how like SpongeBob was like cocaine and like shit like that? It was like Sandy Cheeks was like this kind of drug.
Whoa, no, I remember people
Wait, I'm gonna look it up.
Do look it up. People more used to be like, oh, like, Cosmo is like someone with schizophrenia. Like,
Yes. Yeah. Barely Odd Parents was like mental health stuff.
yes, yeah.
Okay, hold on. SpongeBob characters. Oh my god.
This is like
as
almost getting into the Mandela
drugs.
effect a little bit.
I know. SpongeBob SquarePants theory, the characters are all on different drugs. This is crazy.
Would Patrick be smoking pot?
Maybe, probably.
What would Squidward be doing?
I don't like that this blog post doesn't have it like listed. I have to like actually read
You
the
have to
paragraphs.
actually read the blog.
Okay, you don't have to explain SpongeBob to me. I understand.
SpongeBob is about a sea sponge.
For the SpongeBob drugs theory to work, the characters have to be understood as being hooked on their respective substances in an exaggerated 1980s war on drugs scare media sense.
Whoa!
Like, okay, relax. The theory explains that SpongeBob is into shrooms, as he has a wild imagination, very much like the mindset of someone tripping on magic mushrooms. SpongeBob can also go from extreme happiness to despair and fear, which the theory compares with a good trip or a bad trip. Mr. Krabs and Mrs. Puff, who are hooked on the same drug, cocaine, this substance can make users irritable, like Mr. Krabs when it comes to money and Mrs. Puff when she has to deal with SpongeBob, and paranoid. Mr. Krabs' paranoia about his secret formula being stolen, Mrs. Puff's PTSD like reactions to SpongeBob driving are, according to the theory, signs of tweaking, aka intense paranoia. Squidward is aligned with heroin addiction.
Yo!
According to the theory, his traits match the behaviors of stereotypical heroin addicts. These include deceptive behaviors, poor work performance, avoiding eye contact, and mood swings. You were right. Patrick is unsurprisingly
He's a
pinned to
stoner.
marijuana. He's always relaxed, maybe a bit too much. Also pretty lazy.
He's hungry all
Eats
the time.
all the time.
Oh boy, 3 a.m. He brings out his cheeseburger.
Is that the same thing when he like drops his jaw and inhales it? And he's like, huh.
No, I don't think so. No, because that one, it's like his alarm clock goes off and he goes, oh boy, 3 a.m. And he turns it off and he grabs his burger and he has his little like sleep cap on and he just like starts eating
You're
it.
so right. You're so right. Sandy explains is against the others, which is why she can get very annoyed when visited by SpongeBob. So she's the clean and sober one. Isn't that crazy?
She's
though?
the dare activist.
But like this was like a big thing in my school. Like things like
That's so
different
funny.
cartoons being compared to like, different things like mental health or drugs or like things like that.
So what the fuck would Regular Show be compared to? That would just be them tripping on LSD, I feel like, every day.
I'm looking it up. I don't even know Regular Show, so
Ugh.
sorry.
It's okay. Regular Show's so good.
Is the Regular Show a stoner show?
Oh,
This
for
is
sure.
definitely the show for stoners.
Regular Show, I was saying this to someone the other day. Regular Show was like Rick and Morty before Rick and Morty was created. It was like the young adult, the YA version of Rick and Morty. Because they essentially did all of the same things. Mm-hmm. Except it wasn't like super inappropriate and like swears weren't being told. But it's like the same premise. It's like these two people, this like pair, and like they don't do what they're supposed to do ever, and like they're really troublesome, and they get themselves into weird like intergalactic issues or like alternate reality like situations. Like they travel, like they do weird things. Like the laws of nature don't apply in either of those shows. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if that's why I didn't really like Rick and Morty as much as other people did, because I already watched Regular Show do all of it.
This.
Yeah, and like it almost felt like it was trying to take Regular Show and like push it to the absolute extreme and just like add in like a bunch of swears and like inappropriate things just because you can, because it's an Adult Swim show.
Yeah.
But I loved Regular Show.
Yeah.
It's my all-time favorite
It's just
cartoon.
something I missed.
Yeah, it wasn't. I feel like it was
went
right
right past me.
before. It was right before. It was right after. I feel like you probably would have been at the right age to watch it.
Yeah. Because I was a big Cartoon Network girl.
Yeah.
That was like big for me.
Yeah. Well, it was high school too. So like I really didn't start watching Regular Show religiously until like middle to end of high school. Probably closer to end of high school. So you were already graduated at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And at that point, I don't think I watched many cartoons. I was very much into like Pretty Little Liars and like,
I mean, girl, I was too.
yeah.
And Glee.
Yeah. I was a big early I can't fucking talk today. Glee girl. Later Glee kind of fell off, but I did like Glee.
Glee was so good. Did you ever watch like the Rosewood show, the spin-off of Pretty Little Liars?
Because I needed to like marry Caleb.
Hard eyes emoji for Caleb always.
Huge hard eyes for Caleb.
Yeah. I wanted to be Hannah so bad because I loved her vibe and I loved her style and everything about her. Like after she, like when she got like emo, essentially when she got like super grunge, and then when she started dating Caleb, I was like, wow. Caleb.
Yeah. I was like in between wanting to be Hannah and wanting to be Arya. Because Ezra.
Oh my God, no, that was also me.
We were talking about last night, because of course we talked about Pretty Little Liars.
Yeah.
We were talking about how like messed up it is to like date your teacher.
Yeah.
But like it didn't matter when I was watching it. I was like,
no, of course
the parents
not.
are being annoying.
But also when you think about the show itself though,
yeah.
Arya was 16.
Yeah.
Ezra presumably was just out of college, so he was 22.
Yeah.
it still is really bad, but he's in his early 20s.
Yeah.
So then when they're older and she's 18, he's only 24. So like it's still really bad. I'm not saying that it is good. I am just saying like there could be worse age gaps in a young adult show.
It was more the power dynamic.
100%. Yeah, because then by the time she graduated and stuff and they actually started dating, they were both in their 20s together.
Yeah.
So like at that point it was like, you know, whatever, sure, it's fine.
But that show made me be like, what teacher can I fall in love with?
Whoa, I never felt that way.
I was like, I want to be her.
I can confidently say I never felt that way.
I had no teachers that were even remotely the same age.
There was one teacher when I was in middle school that like he had tattoo sleeves.
Hell yeah.
And
was he an English teacher?
Yeah, he was my homeroom teacher.
I feel like
he was the teacher that showed me Howl's Moving Castle.
English teachers are badass.
Yeah, he had us watch Howl's, but he was so cool, and like he was he ran the skateboarding club. The skating club.
Okay, I'd be in love with him.
Yeah, but he was like, he was probably like in his early 20s when he was our teacher. I mean, we were in 7th grade, so we were like 11 or 12.
Right, middle school. Okay.
Yeah, we were middle school, but we thought he was like, I remember my friends and I thought he was so cool because like he had tattoos and sometimes you could see them through like his sleeve, his like shirt sleeve if his shirt was light enough. And I was like, whoa, like I was just like so enamored by him, not in the sense of like a crush, but in the sense of like he's so cool.
Right.
He had his ears pierced.
You don't think of teachers as cool when you're little.
He either had like little black studs or he had like little gauges. Like I don't remember.
That's
I think
awesome.
He had gauges.
Good for him.
And then I had gauges when I was in high school.
Yep.
Not that I was trying to be my English teacher, but
yeah, are you just becoming your English teacher?
No.
Tattoos and gauges?
Maybe.
Maybe.
No, that's always been my vibe.
I know.
I've always like I remember I don't know what it is about like just like maybe growing up in the early 2000s like being
influenced.
Born, yeah, like I just like all of like the skater kids and like the BMX kids and like the people who shopped at like Hot Topic and more Spencer's regularly than Hot Topic because Hot Topic leaned more like goth and Spencer's leaned more like emo. Zoomies like people who shopped at Zoomies and like Zoomies specifically was like the vibe that I wanted all the time. Like I've always just been like a little bit grunge, a little bit emo. Like that's always like, but I never really listened to that much of that music. Like, never listened to All Time Low, never listened to like, to My Chem, never really listened to like Fall Out Boy. No.
Really?
No.
See, Fall Out Boy was big in my high school years. My Chemical Romance was big in my high school years.
Yeah, they were huge, but they weren't ever.
No, for me, I'm saying.
Oh, Paramore was like the most
Paramore.
emo band that I listened to, I think.
Yeah, I listened to a lot of like alt rock too.
Yeah,
like Sublime,
Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah,
Arctic Monkeys, Paramore, and like Caged Elephant were like my three. And then when I started dating my ex-boyfriend in high school, it was like Nirvana,
Green Day.
And Green Day, yeah. But like in terms of those types of bands that would like fit in with someone who like listened to the music and like the style that I wanted to dress, I didn't really listen to that music.
Yeah. It's so funny that you're saying that because like again, I feel like style wise we meet in the middle, but I lean more towards surfer. I lean more towards like Cali. So like I loved the grunge vibe, but more like
it's like Cali skater
girl. Yeah, Cali skater vibe. Like always loved the skater boys, but like you went not the emo ones, more of like the grungy like hipster ones.
Like if we were to go to stores like in high school, you would go to PacSun, I would go to Zoomies. I
mean, I worked at PacSun for 6 years.
This shirt is from Zoomies.
Yeah, I think I was with you when you bought it.
Yeah.
But yeah, any like PacSun was my whole wardrobe.
I would penny board when I was in high school.
Yeah, I always wanted a longboard.
Yeah. See, pennyboard versus longboard. Skateboard, I skateboarded a little bit.
I did have a skateboard from the age of 6 to 12. And on the bottom, the design was a skull and crossbones.
That's pretty sick.
I wanted, at that point, my favorite color was black. Like, I was like, I'm so cool.
My favorite color has always been black and always was black. Like, I remember when I would go to school in middle school, specifically middle school, not high school, I would walk out of my room and I'd be wearing all black. My mom would be like, go change. And I'd be like, but, and she's like, you can't wear all black. Like, she just like
why?
She was so against me wearing all black. She was like, you're not goth. You can't wear all black. And I was like, just because I'm wearing all black doesn't mean that I'm goth. I literally had a pair of knee-high Converse, black Converse.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I'd wear them over my black skinny jeans with like a band shirt and a flannel.
That's wild.
Yeah.
See, I'm a Vans girly.
Like, I always in high school, my classic outfit in high school was a pair of black skinny jeans from Forever 21 with the holes in the knees that I made because all of them were too low for me because I have short legs. I'd have the holes in the knees. I would have whatever band t-shirt I was wearing. I'd have a red and black, like, buffalo checkered flannel, and then I would wear my black Converse or my Doc Martens. Mm-hmm. I would usually tie the flannel around my waist at some point during the day.
Yep, of
and
course.
I made and sold chokers, like the stretchy black chokers. I
love the black tattoo chokers.
I made them with like little charms and stuff, and I would sell them to people.
Let's bring them back.
I bought one.
I love it.
Not the stretchy ones, but I bought like a little like daisy pattern one that's like a little more mature. It has like little like beads on it and stuff.
I had like lacy daisy one in college, and then I had one that was like a fake like leather kind of vibe. It was more suede leather, and then it had like a little sun hanging off. I love
very
that.
boho.
I love that. It was from PacSun.
Which is so funny because I feel like based on like and I'm also not even wearing any of like the style and colors that I'm talking about, but my style normally, it like if you walked into my bedroom, like you wouldn't think that it matches at all.
I know
my bedroom is so like orange and red and
it's
like
very earthy, crunchy,
very much like not quite bohemian, but it's like very like there's suns, it's like and
moody
moons
bohemian.
Everywhere. Yeah, it's like very like warm colors, and I love wearing like jewel tones.
Yeah,
but my room is it makes me so happy, so I'm like it's okay, you know.
You can have different aesthetics.
Yeah,
you can exist in one and express yourself in another.
Yeah, I'm so happy for you that you watched those movies last night, because something that I don't know if we've actually talked about it, if we talked about our vision boards that we made at the beginning of the year, but we hung out with a couple of our friends and we all made vision boards. And on my vision board, like, I remember making it, I kept saying to you guys, like, I just want to like reconnect with like not even my inner child, but like childhood, like redo things that like revisit hobbies and interests that I had when I was a kid and whatever. And a couple weeks ago, one of my roommates and I, we hooked up my Wii, and so we were going through all of my old Wii games, and we played like WarioWare, which you know is my favorite Wii game ever to exist. Love that game. And then we played Super Smash on Wii, and I was like, this was the Smash I used to play. And then when the one on the Switch came out, like, I never bought it because it's like $60, but like we started playing the one on her Switch, and then I was like, oh, I think I have Super Smash like Ultimate or whatever, or Brawl is the one for the Wii, and I have a GameCube controller. So I was playing it on my GameCube controller on my Wii with my roommate.
That is a vibe.
A bottle of wine deep.
Wow.
Like playing it.
That's
and
incredible.
It was so fun. And I was like, holy shit, I am like immediately flashed back to like sitting in my cold, musty smelling basement with the little TV corner set up with like my neighborhood best friends and like my cousins and like playing Smash for hours and hours and hours and hours.
I love that.
And it was so nice. And so now I'm like, I'm just going to be okay with like maybe being a little bit cringe and like doing things that I used to do when I was a kid, and just like have fun doing it. Like,
who cares?
Literally, genuinely. Who cares? I don't care. Like, I would rather be 27 years old this summer, like doing things that I love and like having someone else make fun of me for like doing something that might be seen as immature, than like thinking I can't do something because I'm 27.
I'd be like, joke's on you. You're the immature one because you can't get past judging people for wanting to have fun. It's like my interest, but also just talking about interest and rewinding a couple of minutes. Regular Show is having a revival show. Oh, really? They're not, I can't remember what the name is called, but they're releasing a show called Regular Show The Lost Tapes. So it's supposed to be like lost tapes of things that happened like during the whole time of the show. That's cool. Yeah. Is it like outtakes or is it like new content? No, it's it's new content, but it's called The Lost Tapes. That's really cool. And I don't know much about it, but like I'm so excited, and like Caitlin and I were rewatching Glee, and like it was a huge show for me. Speaking of rewatching. Yeah. I showed Steven Twilight for the first time the other night. Whoa. They're on Netflix now. Did you show it to him on Netflix? Yeah. And so we're going to watch all of them. Caitlin and I, when I first moved into this apartment 2 years ago, we had a movie marathon over a weekend where we watched all the Twilight movies. Twilight's so good. It's 4 movies. It's like 12 hours of Twilight. 5 movies. 5 movies? Breaking down 1 and 2. Oh my God, you're so right. Yes, you're right. I know you combined them because there's 4 books. But yeah. Also,
Yes.
going back to Wii, Just Dance.
Yes. Yes, the Wii. Okay, the Switch Just Dance does not compare to the Wii Just Dance.
I've never had the Switch
The
Just
Switch
Dance.
one does not compare because you have to like buy a subscription, like a membership, to get like
Like the good songs.
Yes, yeah. So like they have like Rasputin and like all the like OG like TikTok OG ones from like some of the first Just Dance ones, and you literally have to pay like $24 a month or something.
That's not worth it.
No,
Sorry.
it's not. No, because the game itself was like $50, $40.
Yeah. During COVID, that was all my sister and I did. We had our Wii, and to work out, because we couldn't go to the gym, we couldn't leave our house, like we couldn't do anything, we put on Just Dance for hours, and we would just do Just Dance. And we'd like sweat in our apartment. We'd be like, we're having the most fun we've ever had.
I also bought the game for that purpose and during COVID too.
You had to.
It's
like,
just
what
so
else are you
fun.
gonna do? And like, I remember I would be in my room, because at the time my Wii was in my room because my sister didn't want it and my dad didn't want it downstairs. So I was like, fine, I'll have it in my room. Sure, twist my arm. And I would just like, in the wee hours of the night, be like, I can't sleep, I'm bored, and just start Just
That's
Dance
so
in my bedroom.
funny. Yeah,
And then my
'cause we
mom
didn't
would
have
come
jobs.
in. She'd be like, go to bed. And I'd be like, okay.
Oh, your parents' house?
This was like before we moved out. This was this is when
that's so funny.
like Just Dance just came out. I was addicted to it.
Okay. I'm following. I thought you were talking about during COVID. I was
No,
like, yeah, I
COVID,
also
different
couldn't
time.
sleep. That's so funny. I would do that, but with Animal Crossing,
Yeah.
City Folk. Because I
Yeah.
could just play it with like the nunchuck and the Wii controller, and I had my TV. I also, which this is so funny, when I started up my Wii, the app emblem for Hulu was
Yeah.
up there, and it was like the old neon green Hulu that said Hulu in white letters.
Yeah.
And then it was the old Netflix emblem or logo too, because I had Hulu and Netflix. And every single night going to bed, I would put on Netflix and I would watch Futurama to sleep. Futurama also is one of my favorite cartoons, but I would watch Futurama to fall asleep, and like I would watch all of my shows on Netflix and Hulu on my Wii.
Nice.
And you can't even access the network anymore on them.
So sad.
It's so funny. It's just crazy.
Remember when
having them.
Wii was like the thing? Everyone had a Wii.
yeah.
That was like
Yeah.
the thing to have.
And it's also so cool. So I have in my game like storage container, my storage tote, I have my PlayStation 1, my PlayStation 2, the Wii. I have all of my it's mine and my dad's, mostly my dad's.
They're probably worth so much now.
Oh, for sure. It's all of the PS1 games, and I have a handful of PS2 games, but like my roommate and I were going through them. We were setting up the Wii, and I have like OG Spyro. I have Ape Escape. I have all the Abe's Oddworld ones. I have all the Tomb Raider games. I
loved Spyro.
have Ready to Rumble, like the boxing game. I have Mortal Kombat. Like I
my
have
God.
all of these like crazy classic games because it was my dad's PlayStation that I now have inherited, and I have. But I remember playing all those games with my dad. Oh, and Land Before Time. We've talked
Did you
about
have the
this.
racing one?
No.
Where you race the dinosaurs?
No, I have the regular one.
That was my
we
shit.
We talked about it with Steven because he got it on his Steam Deck. The dying sequence in Land Before Time for some reason like really terrified me. I don't know why. There was
it scared him too.
Yeah, it like really scared me.
Yeah.
I don't know why when I was younger. But there was also a fishing game that my dad and I used to play too that was on PlayStation, and it was like I don't remember what it was called. I'm sure that it's in there somewhere, but it's like you would go to the map and like you could pick whatever like ecosystem you wanted to fish in. So whether it was like a pond, a lake, a river, that might have been it, or like a brook or something. And you could catch rainbow trout, salmon, bass, bluegills, carps, like all these different fish. And you could like select the bait and stuff. And I remember for some reason I was terrified to play that game because in real life when my dad would take me fishing, I'd be so scared when the fish would bite the hook that I'd freak out and then he would have to reel it in for me. So it was the same thing in the game that when the fish would bite the hook, I'd be like, you do it. And I'd like throw the controller at it.
That's so funny.
Yeah, but I would just like love to have an entire day of like going through all those games.
Oh yeah, and just playing a little bit of each one.
Because I played them when I was like 5 or 6 with my dad.
Did you bring it to college? Did we play a little bit?
I think so. I might have just like brought
There was a couple games
isolated
I think
stuff.
Yeah, I think you brought the PlayStation and then like a game or two, and played.
Definitely the PS1.
Yeah.
I think I brought.
I like I'm so sad that we sold our PlayStation 1 and our GameCube and all the games that went with it
Yeah.
at a freaking yard sale.
I know.
Like, if we were going to sell it, we should have sold it, like, for money.
I know.
Money. But also, now I'm like, ugh, I wish I still had it to play.
I never had a GameCube. I only ever had the Wii. Well, it was the PlayStation because we weren't really like a huge Nintendo house. It was more like PlayStation. And then I only got my Wii because it was my cousin's old Wii. So that the Wii that I have isn't even technically mine to start. It was my cousin's.
We were a big Nintendo house.
Yeah. I
That
had
was,
all
like,
the
only thing.
But then I got like the DS Lite, and then I
Yep.
got like the 2DS, and then the 3DS XL, like all that stuff.
Yeah.
I remember and the DSi. I left my DSi on the plane coming home from Florida.
Heartbreaking.
It was my first Animal Crossing game that I ever had that I like left fully on the plane.
Wild World?
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah. Like
Sad.
years of game on that just left on the airplane.
Sad. Clearly, we have more to talk about for our childhood. So
I agree.
We'll definitely have more episodes where we like reminisce on things.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
we haven't even scratched the surface of like little games that we played as kids. Like, yeah, we had video
No.
games, but like there's so much more
Like
that we can
Pixel
cover.
Chicks and Polly Pockets and Furbies.
Tamagotchi and
Yeah.
like all of it. So we'll definitely have to have another episode about, or many episodes about childhood things. I love reminiscing.
Yeah, if there's anything from your childhood that you guys want us to talk about, or see if we also did,
Yeah.
let us know.
Share it with us.
Yeah, tell us like your favorite part about your childhood, your favorite memories, like favorite electronics that you used, or
Favorite
like,
movie.
Yeah, favorite anything. Do you remember like silly bands too?
Oh, and they were banned.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Like any
we
of
could
that
go-
stuff.
yeah,
Any of that stuff.
But yeah. Thanks so much for listening. Hope you're enjoying this different type of content. I think we're enjoying it a lot more, like recording it and talking about it.
I agree.
We're just
It's a lot of
yapping.
fun. Yeah. It's just
But-
fun to reminisce, obviously, but
Yeah.
it's just fun to hang out.
Yeah. Cool. Well,
Catch you guys in the next one.
talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.